And right now I'm noticing that my name is Null Gallig Hicker. Did I all of a sudden become? Oh, there it is, right there, Rich Gilgallon. I thought maybe I became Ukrainian all of a sudden overnight. I mean, because that's when I look at these Ukrainian names, these Russian names, it looks like you're supposed to hold a mirror up to them to figure out exactly, what they sound. There's not enough vowels over there, which is why I think they have so many problems. I think the main problem in Eastern Europe, if you ask me, it begins because there's not enough vowels. Okay, and I think that scrambles their brains sometimes. My good friends from Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, the Baltics, my friends from the Ukraine, my friends from Russia. The problem is there's not enough vowels, and when there's not enough vowels, listen. Now nobody understands names better than I do. I mean, I'm the official starter of the Kraft Nabisco Championship, okay? The LPGA Tour, by the way, is a world tour. So I have to know how to pronounce names, like Suliana Guliana Mita, for example, just off the top of my head. Like Virata Nirapath Pangpur, just off the top of my head. So all these great, fabulous names. Now, I'm glad, frankly, that I don't have to do tennis. Because I need vowels. I have to have some vowels in order to pronounce names. I'm a vowel pronouncer. All right, we're off and running. Now, here's what you do. Go to the website, newstalk920.com, and you'll see my banner. It's that handsome picture of me with the desert backdrop. Just click that banner on, and you'll come to the video of the show. Thanks to Jeff Harris and Amy Anderson from Swing Point Media, by the way, who made this possible today. And I got to tell you, I do say so myself. Just stand here for a second. Try to fix my tie. I got to tell you, I don't look half bad for a guy who's knocking on the door of 60. So check it out. I'm trying to get my my hairline is an issue though with the lights above me. Thank you for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about today. You're tuned into the Rich Gilgallon Show, right here on Newstalk 920. KPSI.
You need heating and air conditioning system work.
So, we're still live. We're still live. Okay, so, hi everybody, how you doing? This is a bonus coverage right here of the Rich Gilgallon Show in commercial break. This is my home. Look around my beautiful studio. Our $1 million weather center. You've heard me talk about so often. There it is right there. There's our $1 million weather center right there. 99.1 degrees.
President General Air. Just like the supermarket, we're open 7 days a week to take care of our customers.
So it cuts in and out a little bit.
It goes to your page. Our technicians, our installers, and our sales department are available to take care of your heating and air conditioning needs, and never any overtime. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and we have 24-hour service. Give us a call.
Yeah, I don't know. This computer like
343-7488 or check us out at callthegeneral.com.
When Judge Paul Zellerbach was elected district attorney in 2010, he took over an office that was almost $10 million in the red. Conviction rates were the lowest in the state. Attorneys were not even required to put in a full day's work. Courts were clogged and crime was out of control.
Let me just say, if you have a small business, you want to separate that small business from every other small business who does the same thing you do. You can do two things. One, you can advertise on this radio show, the Rich Gilgallon Show. Two, you can call, check out swingpointmedia.com. Jeff Harrison, 8 a.m. You can separate your business with a video car accident.
That's why Sheriff Stevenson,
check them out.
Victims United, the California Police Chiefs Association, and local police chiefs urge you to re-elect Paul Zellerbach, district attorney. We have a great DA, Paul Zellerbach. Let's keep him working for us.
Paid for by Zellerbach for District Attorney 2014.
When I say dental procedures, what feelings come to mind? Feelings of comfort? Relaxation? Probably not. But you should know that Dr. Robert Renz, the area's most experienced doctor of dental surgery, offers sedation dentistry.
I'm glad I put that
Sedation
down
dentistry allows you
too.
to be sedated just
That
enough
was
to be
schwitzing pretty
pain-free
good there.
and unaware of the treatment. You're just relaxing. You know that Dr. Renz has been performing dental implants since 1972, and that he's the only one in the Valley performing the custom subperiosteal implant. But you should also know he performs any other type of procedure, root canals, periodontal surgeries, any type of restorative dentistry, right there in his office. And if anxiety is keeping you from getting the procedure you need, then sedation dentistry is the key. With it, Dr. Renz will make sure your experience is comfortable and pain-free. To find out more about sedation dentistry,
so it's on
or to
YouTube
schedule
right
a
now.
free consultation, call
Live.
Dr. Renz now. 902-7756. That's 902-7756. Or
How's
go to
that
Dr.
American
Robert
flag?
Renz, that's RENS.com.
Welcome back. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. News Talk 920. KPSI. Of a witness, she has feelings that fly by night. Oh yeah. She believes in forgiveness. It's not love if it holds too tight. Hey, hey. All right, welcome back. 760-320-8255. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show right here on News Talk 920 KPSI. I'm your humble host, Rich the Coach Gilgallon. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you taking the time today to join us on the big radio program. I've got to remember not to bend my head down too far because, I mean, I have to tell you, I have a full head of hair. But for some reason, on television, under the hot glare of the lights, my hair seems to disappear. I don't know. All right, let's go to the phones. First name, please. Hi, Norman. How are you today, brother? Which one, Norman? Yes, Norman. Yes. Yeah, I think they took a week or so off, or maybe more, as I recall, yeah. That's when Derek Jeter became Mr. November by hitting a home run on November 1st. First November 1st home run in Major League Baseball history. Yes. 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 Yeah, nice, great speech by the beloved pastor of the Obama family. Yes. Me. Well, you know, he separated himself. He separated himself from all the people in his past because he pulled the wool over he was trying to pull the wool over the American people's eyes, and give him some credit, he was very successful. He did. He managed to pull the wool over the eyes so well that he was elected, and not only once but twice. And so now that there's no fear of a re-election, now the hammer comes down from the Obama administration by their unconstitutional dictates from the Oval Office. For example, yesterday we learned that 36,000 illegal immigrants that were held in jail were released last year, including hundreds of murderers and rapists and child abusers and drunk drivers. Over 14,000 people that were convicted of drunk driving, illegal immigrants. If I was in prison and was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania, I'd sue the government right now. How come they get out and I don't? Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate the call. Yeah, I know the Romans didn't have prisons, but you know, that's because the whole world was their prison. 760-320-8255. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. We're live, coming to you from our beautiful studios here underlooking Mount San Jacinto. We're also actually video casting, podcasting, I believe, right now. Thanks to the good offices of my brother Jeff Harrison and my sister Amy Anderson, the Harrison Anderson group, Swing Point Media, and it's going pretty good. So you can check it out. Go online to you can go, first of all, you can go to newstalk920.com and click on the Rich Gilgallon banner, and that's it right there. It comes out clear as a bell. And this will also be, I guess it'll be on YouTube and Google Plus and a whole other thing, a bunch of other things, I guess. But right now, certainly, it's on our website. So, you know, if you've heard that I'm 6'4", 220, looking a little like Brad Pitt when he was looking good. Speaking of that, I saw Tom Cruise's last Mission Impossible movie the other day, Ghost Protocol. Have you seen that? Have you seen Ghost Protocol? Well, there's a guy that looks like he's been rode hard and hung up wet. Tom Cruise at one time was the heartthrob, wasn't he? I mean, Tom Cruise was a handsome guy. He looked old and in the way. Is what he looked like to me. 760-320-8255. I also want to talk about one other thing. I want to talk about this global climate change. And you know, I keep hearing these guys that worship science. Now, listen, I love science. Don't get me wrong. I love science, okay, for the most part. But I take science with a grain of salt because don't forget, it wasn't that long ago that the scientific belief, no matter what ailed you, was to cut you open and take the blood out of you so that all the evil toxins would be released. That was science at the time. You know? I think someday we'll look back on the way we treat cancer today. We'll look back on it as the way that we look back on bleeding. How about poor Abraham Lincoln? The guy gets shot in the head. They drag him into this room, and you know how they tried to make him better? They bled him. They bled the guy. They cut his arm, and you know they took the blood out because that was science. That was the science of the day. And today the science is that the way to cure cancer is to kill almost the body. Because they found out, the scientists, and we're grateful because at least there's one way. They found out that that the cancer cell dies about 8 seconds before the rest of you dies. And so if they can bring you just to the point of death, then maybe, just maybe, you'll survive. And I hope someday that the scientists will come up with a better cure than the one we have now. And so I'm not against science. I like science, but I take science with a grain of salt. People say, "Oh, don't you believe in man-made climate change?" No, I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Man-made climate. You know, they used to say here in the desert of Southern California that the humidity was rising because because the sprinklers were on in the golf course. The fact that sprinklers were on, little tiny sprinklers, the fact that they were on, well, that caused the humidity in the desert of Southern California to go up in a dramatic way. That's the funniest thing I ever heard. I mean, it might raise the humidity around the area where the sprinkler is falling. That's possible, I guess. But the notion that the whole desert, take a look outside today. I mean, what's the humidity right now? About 2? All those sprinklers were on this morning. So, you know, I take science Take science with a grain of salt. That's what I do. And you look back on some of these mistakes that scientists have made. I mean, it was the scientists that said the Earth was flat. It was the scientists that that come up with all these cockamamie theories. What was it? Let's see. I got about 30 seconds. First name, please. First name, please, on the Rich Gilgallon Show. Okay, I'll crank it up. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the call. Okay, bud. Thanks. 760-320-8255. 320-8255 is the number. It's great to be with you today. We're broadcasting live and video broadcasting live, thanks to the good offices of swingpointmedia.com, all across the world. All across the world. On the Rich Gilgallon Show. You're tuned in right here. And it's an honor to be with you today. I got this thing hiked up so far right now. My hair is turning green and standing on its edge. 760-320-8255. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. News Talk 920. KPSI. Stick around.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Dennis Bailey. News Talk 920. KPSI. What's making news?
So what are you saying right now?
A cathedral silly man was convicted today of killing a woman.
There you go. So you're still on the air. Okay. So everything's looking good.
Well, I'm schwitzing. How am I looking, all right? 196 pounds today, brother.
Nice.
Trying to get to 165.
He was black.
He's a black man. Maybe
every engineer in America just held their breath as I held the soda bottle over the board.
Maybe go stand by the after he gets over there, Amy. Maybe have him stand over there and take a picture of him over here. So it's
one of the things in the way, is that okay?
Which one?
The last.
Come on, Jeff.
I got it. No, just beside you.
There you go.
That'll be a nice one.
Wait a minute.
Those are good.
Wrap yourself in the flag of these United States of America. Let's see how this looks.
Ooh, nice.
So remember, you're on the air.
I am.
Yeah, you're live.
I am on the air, live in a commercial break. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're finding us. That's Amy Anderson right behind me. That's her. Get a picture of her. So this is what it is. This is what happens, during the commercials, which in the news break, by the way. What do I got coming back? Oh, my guitar gently weeps. Okay. It's like the service, it's hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, wait. Oh, it was Einstein. I wanted to quote Albert Einstein on science. It's a hilarious quote.
I'm not staring. It's obvious. We know Mom since school, and she didn't have those. It's natural. I mean, she always looked great. Now, jeez, completely different.
And it's playing great on the website and everything. We checked it out.
You see what's new with you. Mom, you look amazing.
Oh,
I know. Shoot a smile, Mom.
It's on my, well, yeah, because I said the same words.
That's why she loves them. She's wanted them forever. Not for me.
That's kind of cool with that 920.
Her life.
Yeah, that's
It's kind of artsy.
She got a promotion. It's different. And they weren't that pricey either. Plus, they're perfect for life. Nice, huh? Amazing. Where'd she go? Dr. Reds in Palm Springs. There's a free consult. It's in one office, and Barb got sedated. Dr. Reds at the Dental Implant Treatment Center. 902-7756. 902-7756 or drrobertrenz.com for a different kind of life-changing implants.
Eliminate fear of house floods forever. Here's the coach, Rich Gilgallon. Are you away from your desert property for an extended period of time? Have you received a call that your house is flooded, toilet overflow, washing machine, broken pipe? Do I have a solution for you? Water cop, water cop, water cop. How does that water shut up?
Water cop, water cop, water cop.
Your house forever. It's amazing. If one drop leaks, your water will shut up immediately, and you'll get a call. No more sleepless nights. Water cop, water cop, water cop. Perfect for your home. Back home as well. Call 760-564-8840. That's 564-8840. Or homefloodprevention.com. That's homefloodprevention.com. Water cop. Stop water damage before it starts. Go to homefloodprevention.com. Water cop is recommended by insurance. And of course, the coach. That's 760-564-8840. 760-564-8840. Water cop, water cop, water cop.
Welcome back. Hey! It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. News Talk 920. KPSI in the desert of Southern California. Wow, 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 wow. Play it, cat. The one and only Cal David. Check him out at caldavid.com. 760-320-8255-346. Well, forget the 3 4s. It's amazing. That number is still in my head. We used to have 2 numbers, and it just became part of my sort of rote statement. So in the first segment, we talked about our, not our, necessarily our hatred of science. We like science, but we just know that scientists make mistakes. Scientists have theories, and so this whole climate change thing now, which the government is yesterday the French said only 500 days left. You only have 500 days left to save the world. Godzilla, it's like the Godzilla movie. I mean, that's what it's like. 500 days left before it'll be too late. So somebody's making money on it, okay? Al Gore has made a fortune. A fortune. Fortune. Lives in a big house. Guess what? House uses a lot of electricity. Flies around in a big plane. Guess what? Plane uses a lot of gas. Gasoline. To my knowledge, they haven't come up with a electric plane yet. A jet plane, anyway, right? Now, someday they will. That'd be nice. It'd be nice if science comes up with a better way to drive and fly. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with science. But I don't worship science. I don't. How old is the Earth? Well, the scientists, it's 75 billion years old. Really? What happened 75 billion in one day before that? It wasn't here? Well, we've made further calculations. We hear this all the time. We've made further calculations on how old the Earth is. We've now discovered it's not 62 billion, but it's 82 billion. Oh, really? You added 20 billion years. Here's the fact of the matter. You can't tell me how old the Earth is. You can't tell me. You don't know. You're an ant. You might be a smart ant, but you're an ant nevertheless. Does the ant know how long the house has been there? No. And you don't know. So I'm a young Earth advocate. That's right. Oh, but the Grand Canyon, it's all a mystery. It's a mystery inside a riddle, wrapped in an enigma. And you don't know. Again, you know, conservatives are not for pollution. We hate pollution. If you want to see how bad pollution can be, go to China today. You can't breathe. Never mind China. Take a ride over to Riverside, the Smoky City. So all these issues continue. And I don't hold with some of these scientific, so-called scientific explanations. All right, that's what I'm saying. I don't believe in man-made climate change. I believe in God. What did he say? Because I think Gilgallon has lost his mind. Somebody go over there and make sure he's all right. Yeah, I don't believe in climate change. I believe in God, and I don't believe that the ice caps are going to melt, and New York City is going to be under 12 feet of water. I don't believe that I don't believe that the Yellowstone volcano is going to blow up and cut the United States in half due to fracking. And no, I don't believe it. And sometimes I think you guys that hold the science, you guys are the flat Earth guys, really. You're the guys who if you believe in science, if you lived in 1491, you'd have believed that the Earth was flat. Why? Because scientists were telling you the Earth was flat. And we all know what happened in 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Guess what? It's not flat. Then there was Piltdown Man. Remember that Piltdown Man? Oh, we found the missing link. We found a fossil of a bird-like with a but a mammal stick. Oh, that was in the front page every day. Oh, we found the missing link. And then all of a sudden we found out the guy just took a little super glue and superglued the tail of a monkey to the body of a bird, and I guess we did. Science. Sorry, wrong again. See, science changes. Changes all the time. But God never changes. He's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. See? And even Peter, Paul, and Mary didn't they have a song, "Don't put your faith in love, my boy, my father said to me, because love is like the bitter fruit of the lemon tree." Be careful what you put your faith in. I don't put my faith in science, man-made science. That's me. 760-320-8255. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. Feel free to give us a call. Tune us in, by the way, on the webpage. Go to newstalk920.com. Actually, while you're there, click on, and you'll be eligible to win a Glenn Beck book. That's right. We're giving away Glenn Beck books every Friday. All you have to do to qualify is just click on the website. Just give it a little click. And, they had 0 clicks before I got here. And we're starting to click it pretty good now. So do that. 320-8255 is the number. On this glorious day, is it 100 yet? It is 100 degrees, according to the $1 Million Weather Station. We have hit the century mark here on what, May the, is it today the 16th? 15th. The 15th. May the 15th. You know what that means? That means it's 11 days. 11 days before your humble host turns. I'm going to be, it's hard to say. I'm going to turn 60. Oh my gosh. You got to be kidding me. That can't be true. I mean, do I look 60? Come on, take a look. It's on the website right now. I don't look 60. Who did I see the other day? Well, who's the old golfer there, Jeffy Harrison, the old guy from Spain? You know,
Somebody downstairs?
no, the guy who's on tour right now. What is it?
Who just
the
got
mechanic.
married?
The mechanic. Okay, now look, he's 50. Just turned 50. Or he's just about to turn 50. Now, I look a lot younger than the mechanic. Of course, I haven't been, you know, cocktailing in 30 years, and that might have something to do with it. All that fine wine seems to go to the lines. Sometimes I look at people that are 60, I go, oh, it can't be me. 60's the new 40, according to my friend Amy. She told me that a long time. Don't worry, Coach. 60 is the new 40. All right, when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the Hillary Clinton situation. And is she healthy? Is she not healthy? Everybody's on Karl Rove's butt now, for what I don't know. But they're all giving him a hard time. And we'll talk about that. Bill Clinton, of course, rallied to his bride's defenses, as you would expect. Because if there's one guy in this country that owes everything that he has to his bride, it's William Jefferson Clinton. Because she could have just, with one snap of the finger, she could have finished him off 100 times. 100 times. Of course, you know, Bill Clinton is General Patton in the war on women, along with his old buddy Ted Kennedy. I see that Ted Kennedy has they have a new wing at the JFK Library for Ted. It's where there's a mock-up of the Senate office, the Senate floor. I'm not sure if there's a mock-up of a little bridge with a car off the side of it, upside down, with a girl drowning to death. I'm not. Did they put that in the Ted Kennedy mock-up over there or not? I don't think so. All right, it's the Rich Gilgallon Show. You're listening to News Talk 920, KPSI. We'll be biggity back right after this.
Yeah, you got a question from a fellow from Armenia.
Hi, fellas. Hey, Chucky. How are you, bud? I put a couple of chairs over there for you. I don't know if there's room.
Did you get my text?
About you guys, yeah.
How are you? I'm Chuck. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Harrison.
Jeff.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. My pleasure.
What's up, brother?
See that? We'll plug that out right here.
Yeah, that's me.
And then
You think those guys on the news wear suit pants? Never. Shorts.
I think up to here.
Okay.
Well, that would defeat the wireless thing, right?
We're doing it right now. Yeah, we're live right now.
So we gotta figure out how to.
I'll just see if you can do this Audio Technica. If you can actually hook another mic up.
We're on live, by the way, right now.
And it really just got another wireless.
Chuck the vote, ladies and gentlemen.
Sure.
You'll be seeing and hearing a lot more from him in the weeks and months to come.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, at first we thought my name was Nolaglig Hirik.
Well, it is.
Nolaglig. Nolaglig.
Is this transmitting?
No. That's the one, right there.
I turned my phone on, just in case.
Me too. Oh, mine's out in the car. Rich, I'm going to use the restroom right here.
Yeah, it's down the hall to your left. Take a right and it's on your left. If it's out of order, just go through the front of the building and ask Tammy. She'll show you where the other one is. Somebody gave birth to a 14-ounce, 10-inch baby boy. True.
How big is the mom? 5 foot 2.
4'8".
Now through June 2nd, receive complimentary prepaid maintenance and a 2-month payment credit on select models, plus 3 months of SiriusXM satellite radio. Test drive a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz today at Mercedes-Benz Palm Springs, East Palm Canyon near Gene Autry.
Well, they sentenced that poor woman to death.
Yeah, we'll be good tomorrow with this. And the way we set up that other weekend ratio.
So why do you need 2 wires?
How
would you use that?
Well, in case we have 2 speakers.
Don't forget, you guys are on the air too. So as you're talking, it's generating around the world. Yes. Where do you hear this sad story here? This poor woman. from Sudan.
Well, I feel better about my health, and I have a terrific smile now.
The most experience, a single office, and single surgical procedure. Call Dr. Renz for a free consultation. 902-7756. That's 902-7756. Or go to Dr. Robert Renz, that's R-E-N-S. Says you dentistry available.
Welcome back to the Rich Gilgallon Show. News Talk 920. KPSI. I'm your humble host, Rich Gilgallon. And what I see, yeah. You know what, I could use somebody. Yes, I could. You know that I could use somebody. Somebody like you. I'm nothing without you. I got no show without you. Could use somebody. Each and every single one of you. I got nothing without you. Someone like you. That's what I'm talking about. Where would we be without music? Where would we be without music? I tell you, it comes in handy on the bus ride to work. I got to tell you that right now. Oh! By the way, all you music fans, brand new album that I just downloaded. I get most of my music advice from Paul Fitzgerald Gilgallon. And the reason I take my music advice from Paul Fitzgerald Gilgallon, he's my brother, my Irish twin. He's 16 months younger than I am. Paulie, you know, just we got confirmed by Cardinal Cushing, who was the you know, he was the bosom buddy of John Fitzgerald Kennedy back in the day. In fact, I think Cardinal Cushing gave the something at the inauguration, as I recall. But anyway, it's a big deal in Boston when I was 13. So that would be what? That would be 67. Okay. And so my brother Paul and I were confirmed together. Now, this Catholic thing, when you get confirmed, you take a name. You take a name. And my father was Richard James Gilgallon, and I was just Richard Gilgallon. He didn't want me to have the same middle name because he didn't want the confusion. But I thought, as an honor to him, that I would take James so that I could be a Jew. And my brother Paul, for some reason, I have no idea why, chose the name Fitzgerald, which is a last name. It's not really a first name. It's not normally a name that you would be confirmed with. Now, Cardinal Cushing, you know, he probably had a couple of wines before this whole thing started. And he's going through this line of little kids, you know, a line. And he's, okay, what's your name? George. George, give him a little blessing with the oil. And then, what's your name? Michael. Michael. And it comes to me. And what name do you take? I said, James. James, go for what they love and serve the Lord. Comes my brother Paul. He leans over. He says, and what's your name? And my brother Paul says, Fitzgerald. So, Cardinal Cushing, the most famous Catholic in all of New England, maybe in New England history, he stops the service, puts his hands up. He said, stop. What did you say your name was, young man, that you have chosen? My brother Paul starts shivering like Fitzgerald. He reaches over and he hugs this kid, you know, my brother. He's the star now of the family and of the show. But anyway, he was way ahead of his time with music. You might have somebody like that in your family. I remember when he showed up with a Bruce Springsteen album. Nobody had heard the guy. He said, hey, this guy's from Jersey, where we used to be from. Wait to hear this song. So I take my music advice from him. Anyway, he called me and said, there's a new Jackson Browne tribute album where all these artists sing a Jackson Browne song. And I had forgotten some of the amazing lyric that Jackson Browne put together. Now, no, he got a little political, you know, towards the latter albums, which I didn't quite see eye to eye with. But the love songs that this guy wrote, he was in so much pain. I mean, Jackson Browne was in so much emotional pain. Well, I mean, sadly, one of his first wife, I think, committed suicide. I mean, but so that, I mean, there was all this angst and pain that I relate to. For example, there's a line, "Oh, I had a lover, but it's so hard to risk another these days." I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That's my life. I'm not risking another. 760-320-8255. Now, where was I? Sad story that I have to bring to your attention. And I think sometimes that I'm, at least on the radio, I'm like a lone voice whistling in the wind when it comes to the religious war that has been taking place in the world since the 1300s. I mean, it's not covered by the press like a war. It's ignored. But it's the same fight, the same battle that's been going on for centuries. And today, according to Thomas Rose on Breitbart, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, rejecting appeals for clemency by Western human rights organizations and by Rich Gilgallon. A judge in the Sudan sentenced 27-year-old, 8.5-month pregnant Christian mother to death for apostasy. Why? What is her crime? What is her crime? The woman Miriam Yahya Ibrahim Ishad brought her punishment of death upon herself, said Judge Abbas Mohammed Al-Khalifa. We gave you 3 days to recant, but you insist on not returning to Islam. So you die, pregnant and all. I sentence you to be hanged to death. For good measure, he ordered the woman to be beaten with 100 lashes of the whip before being hung for adultery. This is the religion of peace. This is what we keep hearing over and over again. Oh, you know, you guys on the, you know, you guys don't understand. You know, it's not up to America to enforce its feelings around the world. It is. It is up to America. Of course it is. Freedom and democracy. That should be our export. And for close to 200 years it was. And the rest of the world took notice. But not now. Not now, because even our leadership shies away. Yeah, it's okay here, but it's not up to us to exert, you know, our beliefs on the rest of the world. Of course it is! Because we don't believe in hanging and beating women because they switched their religion. It's going on all over the world. All over the world. My heart goes out to this woman. She appeared to take the verdict in stride when read her sentence in a cartoon courtroom. Before sentencing was pronounced, an Islamic religious leader spoke with Ishad in a cage dock, trying to talk her out of her apostasy. Here we have a Christian. A young Christian woman carrying a baby. The government, powers that be, have brought her before the power seat. All you got to do is renounce Jesus. That's all you have to do. Just say you don't believe in him. Say you believe in Allah. So, and your baby will be born and you'll be fine, and you know, we'll give you 100 lashes, but we won't hang you. All you got to do is say, you know, you don't believe in him. That's all. It's not just going to happen there. So say a prayer for her and her family and for the world. 760-320-8255. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. You're tuned in to News Talk 920, KPSI, right here in Palm Springs, California. Stick around.
Monday, 7 a.m. till noon. 2 free tires, 4 tires for the price of 2. That's 50% off today. No tires. Over 200,000 tires included in this free offer.
Hey, Shamir.
Monday, 7 a.m. till noon. 2 free tires.
All right, we got a 7-minute break. Don't go away. You guys want a water or soda or something?
No, thank you.
So this is the still live. We're still live.
Saturday, May 17th. Special thanks to Designational Benefits Center, Mercedes-Benz of Palm Springs. Cases out there, I'm going to call you and take that. It's conservative talk in the home of the Dodgers on 9:20 a.m. KPSI, Palm Springs.
You're sitting in the chair. Perfect. Okay.
Wildfires that seem to have died down earlier today picked up again and are raging with a vengeance that feels intensely with Kelly. ABC's Alex Stone is in San Marcos, California. The flames are becoming dangerous for close to home.
Heidi Howe and her husband have come back into the evacuation zone with their 3 young children to grab a few personal belongings.
Cameron here is going to be free tomorrow. Collins
Throw that in the can right behind you there. Yeah, thank you.
And then we can put that in there too, couldn't we? Maybe that picture can be there.
You know that I could use somebody.
When you're playing your music, can you feed it into one of these?
Yeah, they should go. They should.
There's nothing there because it looks like you're having some kind of
bang on that window right there.
Because it looks like you're having a seizure when you can't hear anything.
Oh, really? And you can't hear the music, but you hear me singing?
Or just moving.
Can you? Can we put those headsets up so they can hear what's coming through this sound over here?
You can put these headsets up. The only problem is that you might hear some of it.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah. So it's this control right here.
What do I turn? Go ahead. Come on back.
Just a little bit.
This one.
I got nothing here. Nothing here.
You hear that?
Perfect. That's too far away. Can you get this one on?
Everybody seen Richie? I'm on the way home, sweet home. Tonight, I'm on the way. Get back to where you once belong. This goes out to my friend Mickey. She loves when I sing Get Back, she said. Especially when I sing like, Georgia's a man who came from Scranton, doesn't know the words to the song. Get back. That's Gene Nichols behind me, ladies and gentlemen. Watch him duck walk right across the floor. There he goes. Mr. Babe. Get back. Oh, yeah. Get back to where you once belong. Get back, Coachy. All right, welcome back. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. News Talk 920, KPSI. 760-320-8255. If you want to call in, it'd be a nice time to call in because this particular 2 hours of this program will be on YouTube almost immediately. We are broadcasting live on the website. You can go to the newstalk920.com website. Click on my banner, that handsome guy with the beautiful desert scape behind him. That looks like he looks like Mickey Mouse because he has headsets on. You know, it's kind of a strange look. But click it on. It's a great banner. I'm very grateful for the banner. By the way, we brought in Old Glory today too. We brought in Old Glory because every day around this time of day, we like to do the following. So if you're watching by television, by computer, you can do what I do every day. I'm looking at the. I don't have my back to the flag only because of my microphone. But I say the following: I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, is there something wrong with that? For centuries, the United States of America, based on an amazing document, the Constitution of the United States, the Declaration of Independence, stood, as Ronald Reagan said, as a light, as the city on the hill, that the people of the rest of the world who had no freedom, especially freedom of speech, especially freedom of religion, especially freedom of redress, especially freedom of the ability to gather peaceably. They didn't have those freedoms. They looked to us because we did. They were jealous of us. And what happened? Well, people flocked here. They thought the streets were paved with gold. They left Ireland, Italy, Spain, Russia, Poland. Back in the 15 and 1600s, they left England. Why? Because they couldn't worship the way they wanted to. That's why they came here. They didn't come here, you know, because of the maize. They didn't come here because of the tobacco. They came here to worship. That's why they left Europe. Because they were being told by the government how to worship and what they could worship and what they couldn't worship. And so they hopped on rickety boats and they sailed across the sea with nothing. My great-great-grandfather had $5, $5 when he got on that boat. The Teutonic, not the Titanic. Thank goodness. I'm glad he didn't get on the Titanic. He got on the Teutonic, and there he met my great-great-grandmother, who had $5. And they had $10. They were rich. They came across the sea to America because they thought the streets were paved with gold. Because there was a freedom here. There was something here. It was God-given and granted to this country. You think it's a coincidence that these amazing weapons were granted to us and not to Hitler at the time, who was a fanatic? You think it was a coincidence? And so today, it's things are upside down. Things are backwards. You know, we're getting lectured on morality by the president of Russia. He's lecturing us on morality. What? I mean, that's this theistic nation. It's confusing. So America. Let's talk about the fundamental aspect of America. What is America? What made it special? What attracted all those people then? And by the way, attracts them now. Still to this day. If you're in Cuba, the communist gulag that exists 90 miles off the shore of Miami today. You want to be a baseball player? Yeah, you can make $17 a month. That's what they were paying the Yasiel Puig. $17. In order to get off that island, he had to employ, apparently, as the story comes out now, mobsters. It's the only way to get off the island now. You know, the mobsters control the entrance points. Since 1960, people have tried everything to get off that godforsaken island right now. Everything. They set up Cadillacs with little pontoons and oars. And they get in there with a little outboard motor on an old 55 Chevy that floats to try to get to Miami. They'll do anything they can to get to Miami. Why? Because it's America. They're free here. They're not subject to the whims of the government. And all of a sudden, like this, just like that, we have an administration that is turning its back on truth, justice, and the American way. Turning its back completely. Forming a policy, governmental policy of lie after lie after lie. Rejecting the freedoms that we have fought so hard for and that people have died for. I was watching the movie Lincoln again. It was on HBO or Showtime or whatever the other day. It's an amazing movie. Spielberg, Abraham Lincoln. And once again, I was struck. You know who takes more heat today from the liberal press? What one group takes more heat? And what one group is there disdain for by the liberal press? White, middle-aged American men. Caucasian, middle-aged American men. There might be a few of you out there tuning in. Racists, bigots, sexists. Let me point out, and I'm reminded of watching it, and I know now, I wondered why they delayed the release of the Lincoln movie until after the election. Now, I mean, it's so clear. Because the bigots and the racists in the United States of America in 1860 to 1868 were Democrats. In fact, in 1960, the racists were Democrats. And I mean, even Spielberg, who genuflects at the throne of our glorious leader. Even he had, you know, they couldn't change that. If they could have in the script, they would have. They would have made it Republicans are bad guys. But they couldn't change history. And who was it that voted to eliminate slavery in this country? Who was it? Who was it that by the hundreds of thousands fought in the Civil War to eliminate slavery? Who was it? It was Caucasian American men. So how about giving them just a little bit of credit? I mean, you know, if you watch PMSNBC all the time, you'd think, you know, we're the guys responsible for every bad thing in the world. And really, you know, the truth of the matter is that without those guys that died in the Civil War, would there be still slavery today? Tuned into News Talk 920, KPSI, right here in Palm Springs. Stick around.
You've been thinking about dental implants for years. An acquaintance of yours had them. Your own dentist told you to be a great idea.
How we doing?
That the gumption could pick up the phone and call Dr. Robert Renz. For years.
Amazing Laurie Bono and Cal David and The Real Deal. You can check them out at caldavid.com, my friend. All right, let's go to the phones here. You're on the Rich Gilgallon Show. First name, please. Hi, David in Palm Springs. How are you today? Am I, David? Yes. Right, and you know, I mean, I don't trust them. Okay. Sure, of course. I mean, as an old pollster, I'm well aware of that, and I'll tell you, this is when things started to change politically. It's a very good point. The caller brings up the point about polls. In the 1960s, when polling began, John F. Kennedy would go out and he would make a speech on an issue, and they would take a poll, and they would find out what was the public reaction to the poll. But now it's changed. See, now they take the poll, and when they get the results of the poll, then they write the speech, okay, so that they will suck up to as many possible people as they can. Doesn't matter if they believe it. It's not a matter of their fundamental, you know, gut beliefs in politics anymore. It's a matter of, will people go for this? Let's take a poll. All right, let's see if they'll run a poll and see what they think about climate change. Oh, everybody agrees with it because that's all they hear. Okay, we're for it. If the people are for it, we're for it. And see, that's a fundamental difference in how this country has been run in the last 30, 40 years. So, thank you, brother. Appreciate the call. Exactly. Well, you know, my father, God rest his soul, was a computer engineer in the 1950s. One of the first guys. In fact, if you watched Mad Men the other night, you saw they wheeled in this computer into the office and everybody was panicking. Well, that was what he did. He put the first national cash register computer into Macy's in New York City. First store that ever had a computer cash register system. My father worked for NCR. But he told me a long time ago, as a computer engineer, garbage in, garbage out. So, thank you, brother. I was thinking of him today, as a matter of fact. Apparently, it's the what is it, the 50th or something anniversary? It must be the 50th of the New York City World's Fair, 1964. I was 10, and we lived in New Jersey. My father, every day, before we had a car, our first car, I think, was a 61 Comet. Fins in the back, sharp-looking car. We put all 7 of us in that car. We drove everywhere. Anyway, he would walk to the bus stop, take the bus into the Port Authority in New York, get on the subway and go to Manhattan and work as a computer engineer. And then at 5 o'clock, he'd get back on the subway and take it back to the bus and take the bus back to Old Bridge, New Jersey. And oftentimes he fell asleep and wound up at the end of the bus line, you know. And so I was just thinking about him because I remember that 1964 World's Fair like it was yesterday. And they had in there, and he took us, he and my Aunt Eleanor took us, my brother Paul and I, to the 64 World's Fair. And it was breathtaking. It was really amazing. They had pavilions for every business and every nation of the world. I'll never forget it. I particularly remember, for some reason, the Wisconsin pavilion, because we got free cheese there. They just gave away cheese. And, you know, I grew up in a house with a lot of kids, and, you know, I mean, we split one steak 7 ways. You know, my father got the biggest piece. I got the second biggest, because my mother didn't care. And then the rest of them could fight over it, as far as I was concerned. But we went to the General Motors pavilion, and they had the world of the future. What happened is you got into a car, 1964, you know, General Motors car. That was the ride, and you would drive through prehistoric land. You'd see the dinosaurs, and then you'd go into the future. And we went to the Bell Telephone exhibit, and people were. These little miniature people were walking around holding these telephones without cords. And I said to my father, don't you need a cord? He said, this is never going to happen. That'll never happen in a million years. You can't have a telephone without a cord. And the cars were all flying around, you know, still waiting for the Jetson mobiles. But I'll never forget that, walking around that 64 World's Fair and having so much excitement for the future. You know, I was 10. And everything was, it was 1964. You know, the Beatles had just hit in February of that year. It was the you know, the pain, the cultural pain and sadness for Irish Americans after the Kennedy assassination in '63 was, you know, beginning to slowly ebb away. And I just felt like, boy, what a world we live in. What a country we live in. What a future we have. And I just wonder, you know, if the 10-year-olds that are living here today, or the 20-year-olds for that matter, have that future. I don't think they do. I don't think they have the feeling that, hey, that's what an exciting time to be alive, you know. I mean, we're going forward. It's a great country. You know, there's jobs available. I can raise a family. Nobody has that sensation anymore. Very few. Started with the decline of the factory. And it began with the Clintons and this obsessive promotion of an expensive, in many cases, unnecessary and unneeded college education. What? What did he say? Oh, somebody better get in that studio pretty soon. Now the coach is in there talking about college. Listen, college is great. I have no problem with it. You want to go study science, math, that's great. God bless you, we need you. You know, you want to study sociology, Scientology, science, whatever you want to study, hey, that's great. But you know, the country was built on coal miners and on rubbish men and on mechanics, car mechanics, on plumbers, on house builders, on, I mean, there's a million jobs. And of course, when we were growing up, you could go to the factory and make tchotchkes. There was tchotchke factories in every town. In Scranton, Pennsylvania, we had one of the great weapons factories, you know, in the East Coast. Now, were those jobs mundane? Yeah, I was a garbage man. Was that a mundane job? Yeah, you better believe it. Paid good money though. I wish, sometimes I wonder if I was trying to talk out of leaving when I left. I'd have a nice fat pension right now if I had stayed there 30 years in the Framingham incinerator. No factories. It's killing the country. It's killing it. So now, you graduate from high school, you're not really a college guy. What do you do? Where are you going to work? No matter where you work, that sense I think that we had in the 60s and the 70s, that sense of hope, excitement, that sense of, I can't wait to get out of this house and show this world what I got. I'll figure out a way to do it somehow or other. I don't know how I'm going. I don't have it, but I'm going to try. I'll figure it out. You know, there's less of that today. The young people today, especially the young boys, I have a heart for these young teenage, not quite men yet. They spend most of their time inside their own head, which, for me, that's not a very happy place to be. Okay, that's just for me. I'm just talking about me. For Rich Gilgallon, I don't want to spend all that much time alone in my head. And I see a lot of these kids today. You know, you go up to a teenager today. Now, we were taught, okay? We were taught how to shake hands. We were taught how to look a guy in the eye. And we were taught in a hurry, okay? We were taught how to have a communication with another human being. How to say yes and no, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. You know, we were taught as part of our the ritual of attaining adulthood. We were taught by tough guys, our fathers, who were brought up by even tougher guys, the World War I guys, who brought up our fathers. They didn't have time to kiss their butts of the little kids. No, this is what you do. Don't ask any questions. But we were taught how to socialize, how to communicate. Go up to a 16-year-old today and stick your hand out and see what you get. You get this, you know, they don't know. Try to have a conversation. Unless it's about, one of the great video games or something. Well, then they can talk to you about that for half an hour, 45 minutes. Oh yeah, well I killed 70. I only got killed 55 times. We're losing a generation of young men to the video game world. It has nothing to do with, the opportunity to buy a weapon. It has to do with the easy opportunity of losing reality and sitting inside a computer game where nothing happens but murder, rape, pillage, all in the game. Now, most normal kids, it doesn't bother. They can play it for an hour and put it down, and no problem. Some kids are playing it for 14 hours in a row. And if you don't think there's a problem, go up to your kid today and say, you know what? We're going to turn off the game for 3 days. Oh, you watch. It's like taking the cocaine away from the junkie or taking the heroin away from the heroin addict. You watch what happens. Take the video games away. Hey, son, yeah, come here. Listen, I just listened to the coach, Rich Gilgallon. And he said, hey, try to take the video games away for a day or two. See what happens. 760-320-8255. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. You're tuned in to News Talk 920, KPSI.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Dennis Spade. News Talk 920.
Independent Expenditure Committee, sponsored by the Civil Justice Association of California. And then Candidate Control Committee. One more spot.
Cocktails, cocktails. Russell Harris.
Make Fading Gigolo a film with laughs, heart, romance, and charm. From India, the lunchbox, a sexy dish for those with a fancy for the exotic. Showtimes call 325-6560 or check out .com. Upstairs, it's cocktails. On Barista Road in Palm Springs, of course, it's
Wiggity, wiggity. Welcome back. Biggity, 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 show. Hey! I have staggered in the wind. I've stood at a crossroad or two. Cried to a river, swept to the sea. All just to get to you. I did that. I did all of that to get to you. I jumped a yellow cab. I hopped a rusty freight. I sang till my lips turned blue. On tops of the clouds, all just to get to you. Oh yeah. I played too rough, gave my love not near enough, bled too red, I cried too blue, beat my fists against the moon, all just to get to you. Dude, I had to do all that. I mean, I was in the middle of a snow cave, snowstorms. I was like, oh, the coldest winter in 120 years in a place that has cold winters. It'd be one thing if it was the Palm Springs record for coldest winter in the last 120 years. That'd be one thing. But to be in Boston in the coldest winter in 120 years, that was cold. So I had to do all that just to get back to you. And I'm so happy I did. Very grateful to be here with you on the Rich Gilgallon Show. Right here on Newstalk 920 KPSI. My ace engineer, Jeff Harrison from SwingPointMedia.com, along with Amy Anderson, have been kind enough to come in and just do this amazing thing today. It's really an amazing thing. We talk about science and how we don't worship science, but we like science. For example, at this very moment, no matter where you live on the planet, you can watch this right now, right? Over in Ethiopia, for example, in Kenya, in Irkutsk, in Slovakia, in Slovenia, in Buda or Pest, whichever whichever side of the river you're on. You can be watching Rich Gilgallon right now. That's pretty amazing. My cousin, Bo Farrell, who resides in Brussels, Belgium. By the way, if you're ever in Brussels, stop in Fat Boys Sports Bar. That's my cousin Bo. I think there's a Rich Gilgallon poster in there somewhere. I haven't had the opportunity to make it over to Brussels, Belgium, to see my cousin Bo. That's how I remember where he's from. For a long time, I couldn't remember. He's over there in Europe somewhere. Then I figured it out. Bo, Brussels, Belgium. So I have to remember things like that. I have to try to find a sort of these little remembering clues to remember things anymore. I remember many years ago I bought the guy's memory book. Forget the guy's name. He had this memory book, and you could memorize like the states. By Jeff knows all about this because he's you could do it alphabetically. I could do all the states alphabetically. I could do them backwards because you make a picture in your mind. Alaska, you picture a moose, and then the moose is walking towards Alabama. That's how you do it. But it only lasted like 2 weeks, and I've never been able to remember how to do it since. That's the problem. I forgot how to do the memory thing. See, that's what I did. I forgot. 760-320-8255. Now's a good time to call, so you can watch yourself call when the video of this amazing show is broadcast. But listen. There's things to chuckle about, and there's other things that are just so heartbreaking. And I don't want to leave the case of this poor woman. The reason why we should remember this is because this is just one instance. Okay, this is not uncommon in the world that is run by the religion of peace. Yeah. I guess Islam is the religion of peace as long as you toe the line. Then all of a sudden it's not the religion of peace. Then it's the religion of beating. Then it's the religion of slave holding. And for some reason, the American press is so reticent to call this what it is. We saw the perfect example the other day. Absolute perfect example on PMS NBC. You got Chris Matthews on there. And Chris Matthews, all of a sudden MSNBC is now paying attention to this Boko Haram situation where these guys have gone in there, done it for years, and kidnapped these poor Christian girls. They don't mention that they're Christian girls, they just mention they're schoolgirls. The word Christian never mentioned in the MSNBC report. Oh, yeah, you got some guy out there telling them God is telling them to go kidnap these girls. No, it's not. That's a misquote. Not unusual for PMSNBC to misquote. What the guy said is that Allah told him to go in and get those girls. And they couldn't even say that, you see. That's the scary part of the system we live under right now. They couldn't even bring themselves to quote this fanatic exactly because they're petrified. And why are they petrified? Well, they're petrified because there is a coordinated effort in this country led by CARE, this coalition of Islamic whatevers, backed by lots of money. Lots of money. They have offices in Hollywood where they make sure that any movie that has a terrorist, it can't be an Islam. It's got to be an English guy, or it can be anybody else, but it can't be anybody from Islam. I went to see Iron Man 3, okay, and they got this guy looks just like Osama bin Laden. He's the bad guy. I said, oh, what do you know? How about this? Some truth in the movie. Oh, just a little too soon. Turns out that the guy who looked like Osama bin Laden is really an English guy, actor. He's an English actor. And really, the guy that's pulling the puppet strings is guess what? White, Anglo businessman. He's the terrorist, really. It's not the guy that looks like Osama bin Laden. He's just an English guy, as an actor, portraying a Muslim extremist. See, it can't be a Muslim extremism because that doesn't exist really in the world of in the MSNBC. It's really America's fault. You see, it's our fault. We put these poor people into these situations. Us, Americans. That's the I call it American angst, and I do not suffer from it. But many people do. Many people are embarrassed to be an American and to have, the greatest military force ever put together in the world. And you know what? It really is the first time in the history of the planet that one nation has the power, if they felt like it, to control the whole world. We go in there, start dropping some big bombs willy-nilly, and we'll run the world the way the Romans ran the world, the way the Ottoman Turks ran the world, the way Genghis Khan ran the world. I mean, we could do it. The only reason we don't do it is because we're nice people, primarily. American people are nice people. We don't want to run the world. But, when you start kidnapping little girls, and you start executing Christians simply because they're Christians, now you're starting to tick us off a little bit. If we had a leader in the White House, if we had a real, like a leader, a guy who was not afraid of his own shadow, a guy who was not wrapped up so much in lies that he doesn't know the truth when it bites him in the hindest. If we had a leader in this country, it would be a different situation right now across the world. We wouldn't have to worry about the Russian president inching along, taking first Crimea. What's he going to do? This guy's not going to do nothing. He's all talk. He already told, use chemical weapons, and that's crossing the red line. And I thought, oh, man, I hope you're ready. They use chemical weapons about 20 times. Anything happen? Raise your hand out there. Anything happen? Go ahead, raise your hand. No, nothing happened. That, by the way, is the Socratic method of teaching right there. My friend Chuck DeVoe does the same thing in his amazing Men of Messiah Bible study. Teaches in the Socratic method, which always made me nervous when I was a kid. I used to hide behind the guy whoever was sitting in front of me because I don't like getting asked questions, when I'm in it. So nothing happened. So I mean, Putin is no dummy. Okay, nothing happened. Let's go for Crimea first. Let's see if we can snag that back. See what happens, because he really wants the Ukraine back. But that's not all. I mean, he wants Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, Romania. I mean, he wants all of them back. Germany. I mean, he looks at the fall of the Iron Curtain as one of the worst things that's ever happened in history. The fall of the Soviet Union to Vladimir Putin is a sad day. I mean, the rest of the world was jumping up and down. Yeah, what do you know? But Putin is like, hey, sheesh, this is horrible. So he's trying to get it all back. No leadership. I mean, if I was president of the United States, let's just put it that way. Rich Gilgallon, president of the United States, and these little girls were kidnapped, I would move hell and high water the next minute to straighten that situation out. I would not try to talk to anyone. I certainly wouldn't talk to the president of the country that reminded me of Run DMC. I mean, you see this guy he had this kind of funky looking hat on, and I mean, I don't know who dressed the president of Nigeria, but I mean, come on. All right, 760-320-8255. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. You're tuned in to News Talk 920, KPSI. Stick around.
Do you try not to smile? When you do, does your hand typically reach to hide your
drive her skate car. She doesn't pay the $22,000 bill herself. She has the taxpayers pay.
I go see it back in Sacramento. The taxpayers, that's no reality show.
It's a horror movie.
Welcome back. It's the Rich Gilgallon Show. News Talk 920, KPSI. And your lifeboat. Come on, everybody now. Take me in your lifeboat. Oh, take me in your lifeboat. Oh, it will tend the raging storm. Come on. Take me in your lifeboat. Take me in your lifeboat. It will take me to town. Little stained glass bluegrass right there. It's hard to say. It's hard to say on radio. Hey, what do you know? You're on the Rich Gilgallon Show. First name, please. Hi, Jim here. How are you there, buddy? Monday's Mixer. That would be the... Well, that's great. I'll be there. Yes. Yes. Well, you know. Well, I don't know if I'm entertaining. I mean, you know, that was, let's see, Heidi Medicke was seated there along with her mother Joy and Mr. Medicke, and yeah, it was a nice time. I mean, you know, listen. Well, I think I was regaling them on the 3 heart attack stories, if I'm not mistaken. No, not while I'm telling the story about the last 3. You hope not to get a 4th heart attack while you're telling the story of the last 3. All right, Jimmy, you got it, brother. You know, there's something about the mentality, because I've thought about this in the past, to be honest, about running for lieutenant governor. You know, it's one thing when you run for vice president, you're normally somebody that had been running for president, or you know, your career is kind of going sideways. I mean, you know, that's something. But to actually go out, campaign to run for lieutenant governor, I think those are probably the smartest guys in the state, because really, they don't have much to do. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice room. It's a nice room. You get cheese and crackers and a nice little Orsi Dorsey. Beautiful. All right, Jimmy, anytime, brother. All right, brother. Thank you. All right, Jim. Thanks, buddy. You know, I was on the bus today. Speaking of that, and you know, it's funny when you have a coat and tie on, and you're getting on the bus. By the way, the bus system in this community is breathtaking. I mean, I used to poo-poo it. I did. I'll be honest with you, until I realized it was there. I mean, I used to walk instead of taking the bus like a moron. I mean, I walked right by 5 bus stops to get here. And so, you know, of late, temporarily, I'm up on the bus, and it's an amazing group of people that are on that bus. You can go almost anywhere in town for $1. You can go from Palm Springs to Coachella for $1. And if you switch in buses, $1.25. And if you're 60, you can travel unlimited for $16 or 17, half price. And I'll be 60 in 12 days. 11 days, actually. It's hard to believe. Hard to believe I'm going to be 60. I can't believe it. You know, I had my first heart attack at 49, and I thought, okay, you know, I remember that day. And then I had my second one just a couple of years ago, and then the third one was a little different. The first two were cardiac collapses. That's stress-induced cardiac collapse. The third one was a blockage that just formed in a moment. I mean, that wasn't. It was a piece of the artery that kind of flaked off and caught on a stent, and then billowed like a sail. So that was not. I was not stented for that. The blockage was eviscerated, which is one of my favorite terms of all time. After that, they put a little fire hose up your leg, and then like this microscopic fire hose, and it eviscerates the clot. I'd like to eviscerate a couple of things around here, I'll tell you right now. All right, listen. We had a great time today. I want to thank everybody that called. Don't forget, stay tuned for Dennis Prager. Then, of course, the great one, Mark Levin, from 3 to 6. Dennis Miller from 6 to 9. And then Dr. Savage from 9 to midnight. Of course, Dodger Baseball. And just take a little super glue and just put a little dab right there on the radio dial. That's really all you need to do. Don't forget Rush, then Rich. Every day from 9 to 2. It's Rush, then Rich. Every day, 9 to 2. Rush, then Rich. It's Rush and Rich. Every day, 9 to 2. Thanks to my good friend Dr. Robert Ray. You're still, I hope you're not walking around in 2014 with dentures. I mean, it's hard for me to believe. But, I mean, you have the teeth out and you put them in a glass by the bed and you're wondering why the romance is like out of your life. You know, go see Dr. Rentz. I mean, you know, it's got to help. I mean, you know, come on. Who wants to be, you know, in the mood and then you know, teeth come out, they go in a glass by the bed? You have to be kidding me. That'll turn the romance light right off if you ask me. So go see Dr. Rentz. He'll straighten it out. Mike Cotter always takes us out. My old buddy Mikey Cotter. Check him out at MikeCotter.com. We'll be back tomorrow for the big Friday show. Until then, please do me a favor. Take it one day at a time right here on News Talk 920, KPSI in Palm Springs. God bless you. God bless Dr. Robert Rentz. And God bless these United States of America. It's like just gotta wait till 58:50 to hit this button. The party's over. You used to love to honky-tonk, but now the honky-tonking's over.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well,